You know, the crew was excited to be back when we did the schedule and we did back-to-back podcasts Wednesday, Thursday nights after one day of training camp. We were excited to get going, so we packed them in this week, stacking up back-to-back pods, and happy to be doing it. Yes, Season 5, Episode 3, ready to rock and roll tonight here on Got Your Back. So happy you were able to join us. And as always, our program's brought to you by our title sponsor, Timberhouse Developments. Have you ever considered adding a garden suite or laneway home for aging parents or loved ones? The team at Timberhouse can design and build the perfect space for your property. With a focus on naturally inspired living, they create warm, thoughtful spaces that enhance the lives of your loved ones and provide an oasis to help them age in peace. Visit timberhouse.ca. Ready to rock and roll tonight in our Timberhouse studio as well. And along for the ride tonight is Jason Strudwick, and it is Rob Brown. Yeah, guys, I dropped that off air. It hits like it's a lot of work, and the Oilers, I think, have that feeling today too. Day one of training camp for them. It's going to be a long road for us. Episode 3, Brownie, of about 155 this year. So we got a long road ahead of us, buddy, but excited to be on it.
Well, we are, and our long road is very much dependent on the Oilers' long road. So we need them to have another long playoff series, Struds, if we want to get all 155 episodes in. So this is on Connor and Leon and the boys for them to make sure that we are able to give our insight for the next 10 months.
Well, that's for sure. I mean, these guys, I can't imagine being that long. It's one thing when you get knocked out of the playoffs April 15th and you have all this time to get excited and go, but you're out end of June or whatever it was, and you have 2.5 months to turn it around twice. Back to back. And if you're Florida, it's 3-4 times. It's pretty crazy.
Connor McDavid said today he was on the ice with Nurse and Drysdale like maybe 10 days after they'd lost or something like that. Like barely took some time to regroup. We're going to talk a lot about day one of training camp here today. We've got some line combinations to chew on. Yes, McDavid was asked about his contract. No update. We'll talk about what we saw line combination-wise, what we liked, who McDavid's playing with. Stuart Skinner's dropped some weight. We'll talk about that and an update on Zach Hyman as well. So lots of stuff for us to get to in the show tonight as day one of training camp is underway. Zuby, before we get rolling, have to ask you about your experience last night. We sent you into the belly of the beast. You went to the home of Mr. Ray Ferraro to try and do a technical setup for the Ray and Dregs Hockey Podcast, and it was an abject failure, according to Ray last night on the show.
Oh man, it wasn't for lack of trying. Man, we tried a lot of different stuff. We turned things on and off several times, which is kind of my go-to move for fixing the tech issues. That did not work. Man, we tried. It was very nice to go and meet Ray. I'd never met Ray in person before. It was fun to get to go see his pad there and see some of the family and interact with him in person, but we did not accomplish next to nothing. What we accomplished was a bunch of the gear that had been sent directly to his house ended up in my luggage coming back to Kelowna with me. So, yeah, no good.
So the gear that I paid for Ray is now yours in your house.
Correct.
Is basically
Yes.
what you're telling me here.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And I'm starting a vlog. Yes. So thanks for that. No, we're going to figure something out.
Episode 1 of the Ray and Dregs Hockey Podcast dropped this morning. Lots of good stuff that the guys covered. We had a little fun with them at the end as well. So download and subscribe on all your platforms. Let's get to what we saw on day one of Oilers training camp earlier on today, and that will be in our breakdown. Brought to you by the Canadian Brew House. Yes, hockey lives at the Canadian Brew House. During every Oilers game day at any Edmonton and area location, enter to win Oilers home game tickets at Rogers Place. Plus, enjoy a $1 off Molson Canadian and Coors Light tankards as well. They got some great drink specials always going. Edmonton-born, Canadian-operated. It's a great spot to go watch a game. 48 locations across Canada and a pile here in the province of Alberta as well. So go check out your Oilers at the Canadian Brew House. Okay, gents, first and foremost, we did not expect Zach Hyman to start the regular season. I feel like that was a long shot, but Chris Knobloch today struts with a bit of clarity. This is going to push all the way in to November. They're targeting November 1st as a potential return date. A little longer than I thought that this would be. We speculated on this on the pod last night. more opportunity for other people. But I heard that and I went, ooh, for a team that is highly focused and motivated to get off to a good start, that's a rambunctious, energetic player they're going to have to do without. Muted, buddy. Muted. You're muted. This new microphone is an issue.
Got it.
You sort yourself. There, you got it?
So, got it. Yeah. If it's just very sensitive. I touch it, it goes off. Anyways, it was interesting yesterday. Zach Hyman said, I don't want to put a date on it. And then today we get a date on it. Like it was like 24 hours later, the date was set November 1st. So I thought that was kind of interesting. At the end of the day, these things, it's a movable time slot. He said it might be a bit early, might be a bit later. I just think it's important to get him back healthy and 100%. So if it takes to November, it's not the end of the day or end of the world, in my opinion, for him or the team. So I think Brownie that, he'll be in good shape when he comes back. It's just that touch, that timing with his hands. It'll be always a challenge, especially coming back from that injury.
Well, and it's two things. A, it's an injury to the hand or to the upper body, which allows you to skate. So the toughest injuries to come back from the ones that are lower body injuries because you can't stay on the ice. You can't continue to train. So that's not an issue. And I go back to what I've said since the first episode. Regular season's not that important. The start to the season is not that important. The Oilers have proved that back-to-back years. Getting Zach Hyman healthy and ready as the season moves on, that's the big thing for the Edmonton Oilers. So it is amazing when you think of watching Hyman leave with what looked like incidental, kind of innocent-looking play in the playoffs, that this is how serious an injury it is. Here it is the next season after surgery and everything, and he's still not ready. So what looked innocuous turns out to be a long-term injury. But as Strud said, the most important thing is getting Hyman back when he is 100% ready, not a second sooner.
So with Zach Hyman not out there, day one of training camp, I always find this kind of interesting to see what the line combinations are going to be that they roll out there. And Chris Knobloch in his first training camp last year showed that right away he will go to combinations that very well could start the regular season. I'm not saying they're going to, but I will read into the combinations that he's throwing out there today because it would seem to me after a summer of thinking about it on day one, why not throw together some of the stuff that you've been envisioning and have up on your whiteboard? So just going to run everybody quickly through what we would expect are the top four lines and the top 6 or 7 defensemen. So Connor McDavid was with Andrew Mangiapane and David Tomasek. Adam Henrique with Ryan Nugent-Hopkins in the middle and Savoy over on the other side. Leon Draisaitl had Podkolzin on his left as expected. Now, we were wondering, without Zach Hyman, who potentially gets the look up in the top 6? Well, for today, it was Kasperi Kapanen, who we saw some time there during the playoffs as well. Janmark, Frederick, and Ike Howard put together what essentially looks like a fourth line, and then another line that's interesting of contenders, Jones, Philp, and Lazar. Then you had Ekholm Bouchard, Nurse Wallman, Kulak Emberson, and Stetcher was with Stillman. So Stetcher would look to be the odd man out as far as the way they piece the pairings together. So Struds, you can look at this and pull 4 lines out and 3 deep pairings. Right away, they're going to some interesting stuff. We'll get more specific on Connor McDavid in a moment, but what are your observations about what he put together on day one here, Struds?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like he does. He's trying to get his opening night roster set up without the big guy up there. So the first thing I saw when I saw these lines was Trent Frederick on the fourth line. And that's, you're not going to pay a guy $4 million or whatever he is to be on the fourth line. So that right away, I can't see that lasting. And I want to see him at center, but I want to see him at center with guys that I consider today top 9 players. Janmark is he's probably more of a bottom 6, and Ike Howard we don't know yet. So Brownie, that was the very first thing I saw right there was the Trent Frederick. I don't, if you're paying a guy that much to be your fourth line, man, that's a lot for 8 to 10 minutes of ice time.
3.85.
Yeah, I read nothing into these lines, to be perfectly honest. Right now, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins has more skill playing with him than Leon Draisaitl does. And it's not even close. You're not putting Ike Howard on your fourth line his biggest detriment right now is defensive play. You're not going to have him playing on your fourth line because he's not going to get power play minutes. He's not going to penalty kill. So now he's getting 6 minutes on your fourth line, playing with guys that are known for defensive hockey. So I think right now they're trying to slowly get Savoy some ice time and play with some veteran players without too much pressure. Put Howard in with some big physical defensive players that can look after him while he gets his feet wet at the professional level. Mm-hmm. But to me, possibly Connor's line might look like that on opening night without Hyman, but the other three lines to me will look completely different come October 8th or whenever the first game is.
Yeah, what happens on Draisaitl's right side, Brownie? Because I don't disagree with you. I think there'll definitely be some changes here, but I think Draisaitl has tipped his hand a fair amount about wanting Podkolzin on the one wing, which he has here. But on the other side, it's Kapanen and Hyman's not there. So what do you make of that decision to have Kapanen there? And do you think they're viewing that as something they could potentially start with, or is he keeping that warm while some of these other potential guys try and find their footing?
Well, I think the latter there. I think they would love to see Savoy there. They saw Savoy in a very small amount last year play with Leon, and we thought he played well. There wasn't the finish that they needed, but he created space for Leon. He moved the puck well. He was good on with tenacity on the forecheck. So to me, Savoy is more natural there. I think eventually at some point you're going to see in training camp Howard playing in that position, because if he plays top six, it's still, even though it's Leon Draisaitl and he's an MVP, there's still less pressure playing with Leon than there is playing with Connor as a young player. So I think both Savoy and Howard will get looks there. And then Tomasek. I mean, to me, he's getting a look with Connor McDavid, but can he play at that level and that speed? The one thing about playing with Leon Draisaitl, Struds, is incredible he slows the game down. That allows other players to be able to play with him. To play with Connor, you have to have incredible speed, both in the brain and in the feet. With Leon, you just have to be smart.
Yeah, that's really well said. And I think for Tomasek, I mean, what an opportunity to show everybody what he can do playing beside Connor. It's not just games, it's practice as well. I love that Mangiapane's beside McDavid. I just think it's fantastic. I think that he plays fast. He has scored. 35 goals is no joke in the NHL. I don't know if that's the guy. And last year he didn't get a lot of offensive opportunities with who he was playing with. So he's another guy. You want to come out and kind of feel good about yourself. He's a little bit like this year's what's the guy that went to Boston?
Arvidsson?
Arvidsson. Yeah, he's this year's Arvidsson, right? Like in that he's been brought in here playing this top six, so he's got to find his way pretty quick.
Let's get to the Weiss Johnson Soundbox here. Weiss Johnson Heating and Air Conditioning reminds you their end of season AC sale is now on until the end of October. Get up to 20% off any in-stock air conditioners. New website for you to go to, wjjingle.com, right? We love that jingle so much, they created a damn website, wjjingle.com, for exclusive specials just for Got Your Back jingle lovers. wjjingle.com.
Weiss Johnson, whoa. We're proud to be local and family.
All right, Connor McDavid on Andrew Mangiapane.
He scored goals in this league and can play with an edge, plays fast, wins battles. That's what you're looking for.
He's like a lot of different things that you'd want in a winger.
He's got a lot of things that I'm looking for in a winger. So fun to play with him day one, but as we know, things change, but hoping to build something with him and something that we can build on and roll moving forward.
Was that really low, Zuby? Did I record all these clips super quiet, or could you hear that okay?
It was a wee bit quiet. I don't
Okay.
know if you could
All right.
really
Sorry
punch
about that.
the level to the max when you hit them.
Oh, I've got it cranked.
Oh.
So if I recorded these other ones normally, it's going to blow the doors off this show. We'll see in a minute here. So he said, obviously it's the first day and things can change, but also hoping to build some chemistry with him. I'm going to play another clip from Connor McDavid in a moment about changes and the value of having some changes. He felt like maybe things were a little bit stale. Brownie, do you think there's potential for a style fit here that McDavid's talking about?
I do. You've got to be able, as I said, playing with Connor, you got to think fast and skate fast. Mangiapane has shown that he's got speed. And as Strud said, he scored 35 before. It wasn't by fluke or by accident. So he's got the skill level to play at that level. Any player that gets that chance you're going to see his best effort. You're going to see every practice, every day in the weight room, every opportunity to impress and try to keep that spot. I mean, Mangiapane, this is could be a career changing season for him. He plays with Connor McDavid and has a 40 or a 50 goal season. Look how Zach Hyman is viewed now. He was always a very good player in the league. He comes here, he scores 50. He's now a superstar. Now, I don't know if Mangiapane can be Zach Hyman, but you're playing with Connor McDavid, Struds, and playing with Connor McDavid, you're going to get plenty of opportunities.
Well, I love the way he phrased that. And quite honestly, I like the idea of what Hyman and Mangiapane on his wings could be. Like those guys, they play fast. They go there and get pucks. They're going to go to the net and they can both score. And, for Connor, that's a great thing to have there. That's a hard line. That's a hard line to play against. And then what it does is it frees up Nugent Hopkins to go travel somewhere else in the lineup. Could that be beside Leon? Could it be as a center? I mean, there's all these options that are just so available to Chris Knoblauch, including the two young guys. But if Mangiapane can hold down a spot in the top six, and specifically beside Connor, I think that's a huge thing for this team.
Connor McDavid talked today on day one of training camp, and he brought this up unsolicited. Jason Gregor asked him, kind of said, there seems to be a bit of a different energy. What do you attribute that to? And, take a listen to McDavid's answer here. Highly complimentary of the way things went today on day number one.
I think it's motivation. I think it's excitement. I think it's a little bit of new blood, young blood, which is exciting to have. Bring some energy to the rink every day. So, truthfully, I thought that was the best practice we've had in a long time. So, it was exciting, fun to be out there, high pace, competitive. That was the best practice I've had in a long time. Yeah.
Anybody find that interesting that he said that on day one? I don't know. Stood out to me. Brownie, you? We talking about practice?
Well, it was their best practice in a long time because it was their first practice in a long time. I mean, they haven't practiced. Haven't had really a real practice probably since March. Like, in all honesty, they wouldn't have practiced a real practice in April, May, or June. So, it is true about energy that younger players bring in. You go to 5, 6, 7, 10 training camps, it gets stale. It really does. It's the same thing over and over. The coaches come in and say the same things. The GM says the same things. You're out in the practice and you're just thinking, as a veteran, I just want to get to the playoffs, especially if you're on a good team. Like, I do not want to go through all of this, but you have young kids that are trying to break into the team that they're excited. Like every time I guarantee you, and I wasn't there, but I guarantee you Savoy is going 1,000 miles an hour. Like, this is his opportunity. It would be incredible. So yes, there will be energy that the veteran players will feast on from these younger players just to break up the monotony of yet another training camp they have to go through.
Struds, I'm going to play one more clip, and then you can comment on that as well, because this is more McDavid along with the lines of what Brownie's talking about here.
I thought at times last year it was a little stale. And you can have that with older teams that, are kind of have one eye and, looking ahead to the playoffs. So, you can have some monotonous days, and I felt that last year. So, having some new faces in here, some young blood, as I said, playing with new guys, it can be exciting. A new project, something to work on and build on. And with that being said, we know that we can always go back to the old things, playing with Leo or playing with Nuge or whatever it is. We always have those things to go back on. And but it's exciting to try to build something with some other guys.
Connor McDavid, his interviews have really been really good lately. Like, he's just very clear. He's just saying exactly what he thinks. Like, I thought, I heard that earlier. I love that clip. And the thing that struck me, boys, was the project. He's like, yeah, I'm taking on a project. And I remember I played with Yager. Yager he worked with this guy, Brandon Dubinsky. And he ended up being a center for him. And he worked with him every day on the ice, off the ice, watching video, all this stuff. So here's a star player, and he, not that Mangiapane's a rookie or Howard, or I guess Howard is. Tomasek, but a project. He knows that if he can help these guys get into the league or get onto his line or help the team and get better, everyone's better. So I've never heard him talk about a project before, boys, and you're there every day, Shogger. But I love that whole thing from him, and I love that thing about the project, because that to me sounds like he knows there's work to do to get these players up to where they need, but he's willing to take that on, and that's what leaders and they got to do. Best players do.
Yeah, I think also you take ownership over understanding that, okay, you could play on your line that you always play on, and it's Nugent Hopkins and it's Hyman over and over and over again. But I really think that McDavid in particular is a player and a leader who's going to take some responsibility for helping develop new talent on this team. Like, I think he's going to take some personal responsibility over trying to make sure that Matt Savoy is comfortable and has every opportunity to find success, Rob and Ike Howard and these guys. Like, to me, when McDavid talks about projects and new energy and youthful exuberance, I can tell you, I was there today, man. Matt Savoy is just vibrating out there. He is blazing around. He is sniping, bar down, 2-on-1, made an unreal move around Ekholm. I'm not going to overplay this. It's day one. But I will tell you that the kid is standing out with this energy that McDavid is talking about. So I don't know, Brownie, I guess it's a long haul. So why not let the energy from that sort of thing make a difference for you, even if you're Connor McDavid?
Well, two things. Not surprised about Savoy. Struds and I have worked with him. Incredible work ethic, great kid. You only hope that he has success, and I think it's going to follow him this year. But another thing that we know about McDavid, and I agree with Struds, normally a Connor McDavid interview, you really get nothing out of it. Like he is very good at answering the questions and not having to say a whole lot. He's always very, very safe with what he says. He's been much more outgoing or much more honest in these answers. But I think what Connor McDavid knows, and he's brilliant when it comes to the game of hockey, especially this year in the finals, going through the playoffs, he was fine. Leon was fine. The reason they lost is Florida Panthers had a third line that dominated. So if Connor McDavid can play with different players, and that frees up a Nugent Hopkins or a Henrique or something like that on your third line, there's more depth for the Oilers. So Connor McDavid understands if we can somehow find success with younger players in our top six, we're going to have a veteran presence down in our bottom six that will be able to compete. Let's be honest. The Florida Panthers are the class of the National Hockey League. They will be the favorites coming into this season. And we know what their third line can do. So I think Connor realizes, okay, well, we're going to have to find depth throughout our lineup. Here's one way to do it. I'll take some younger guys under my wing, some guys that weren't expected to be there, and we will find success if I help nurture them, and that'll allow Chris Knobloch more options in his bottom six.
Okay, still ahead. Going to have a little conversation about Stuart Skinner, how he looks, some of the things that he was saying today, cut a little weight back as well. So we'll talk about that coming up in takeaways. Also, we'll talk a little bit about McDavid goal scoring. He discussed that today. Should also mention, Connor was asked about the contract situation. Gregor just kind of said, how often are you thinking about this? Is it on your mind? Connor said nothing to update. Yeah, we're thinking about it. We're talking about it. It was a very casual answer. He didn't get annoyed. He was super chill about it. He answered the question, and everybody moved on. No update is the update there on McDavid and the contract. Before we get to break, though, let's get to our UCAN Youth Services Relentless Player of the Day. UCAN is an Edmonton charity relentless in creating possibilities for local youth. Mental health drives growth and success. The key to thriving, not just surviving, with 2 in-house counselors offering a free therapy. Their youth have the support they need to navigate struggles and rediscover their strength. Visit ucan.ca to donate today. As always, so happy to have UCAN Youth Services on board. Struds, I almost want to give it to Matt Savoy for what I saw at practice today. I'm not going to overrule you, but I'm telling you, the guy is just full of energy, and it's not just offensive energy. He's back-checking hard. He's cross-checking guys. He's just in it, it stands out.
Yeah, well, I love that. If you want to go with that, we can do that. I'm happy to be overruled here. I've got another one. It's a bit of a feel-good story, but we can go with
do it
with him and
Give
Savoy. Like he is a relentless worker. And I'll share a quick story. When I was working with him at this one practice, he stopped the drill and commented to other players they weren't trying hard enough. And I was like, well, he's so right. I probably should have
Wow.
said that, but he is right. And he would have been what, Brownie, 15 at that time, maybe
Oh,
14,
I don't even know if
15,
he's 15. Yeah,
maybe
14, 15. Yeah.
14, 15, somewhere in there. So yeah, he's going to give it everything he can. But I'll just do a quick one. A shout out to Jonathan Toews. This guy, I thought he was down and out. Today was his first training camp in a couple of years. He went all over the world, including India, to solve the issue medically he had. And now he's back, and he's, slotted to be the second line center in Winnipeg, which is
Wouldn't that be something?
pretty amazing. Well, if they have him, and I know that they've got Lowry out for a while, but man, give him credit, because I thought he was done. I just thought it was like, okay, it's done, but he didn't, and give him credit.
Awesome. Love that one. That's UCAN Services Relentless Player of the Day. A little split there between Matty Savoy and John Taves. Before we get to break, Zuby, why don't you hop in here with our DeBoer's Golf Shop and Fitting Center YouTube poll. We love doing this poll. And a reminder, at the end of the show, we'll dive in and give you the results. Ask Us Anything comes at the end of the show as well, so get your comments in there. DeBoer's Golf Shop and Fitting Center, the best time to get fitted is right now. Excuse me, because your swing is at its absolute best point in the season, right? Great time to get clubs. Fall clearance is on. Big savings on apparel and footwear as well. Go down at 5311 99th Street in Edmonton. Have the Got Your Back swag printed by our friends over at DeBoer's. The quarter zip here. Nice and snazzy. They actually have some of those in stock at DeBoer's. If you want to pick one of these up for the fall season, go ask Scotty about it, and they'll get you hooked up. Zuby, what do we got tonight?
I think we should point out also, we will probably give the results of the poll. So we're
sometimes we
at
forget.
very high in we're in the 90th percentile now, but once in a while it slips. We forget to give the results. Tonight, I have a feeling we will. The question tonight is, how many goals will Connor McDavid score this year? As we're going to get to chatting about that a little bit after the break here. The options that I put together are 35 or fewer, 36 to 45, 46 to 55, or 56 or more.
Okay. Don't give your answers, guys. I'm going to get your answers in the next segment, because we're going to hear McDavid chatting a little bit about that goal scoring. Excellent poll question tonight, Zuby. Good stuff. Everybody chime in on the stream. Got a great live stream going tonight. We really appreciate you joining us on a Thursday night, day one of training camp. Not a ton going on, but still lots to talk about. So we'll get to Stu Skinner and McDavid and goals coming up next. This has Got Your Back, presented by Timberhouse Developments. Repair and replacement using advanced trenchless methods for fast, clean results. They provide detailed sewer assessments and scoping to identify problems before they become costly. Serving both residential and commercial properties, no job is too big or too small, and with over 40 years of experience, they've seen it all. Trust Mainline to keep your lines flowing smoothly. If you're considering a vinyl fence, don't be fooled by cheap marketplace imitations. Get top quality vinyl fence from a trusted company with 20 years in the industry. With locations in Calgary and Edmonton, check out dlrvinylproducts.ca. All right, let's get to takeaways, brought to you by HSE Core Services. You need a safety program if you have a business? Well, they build it. If you need it managed, yeah, they can do that too. Stuck dealing with those online safety registries your clients make you sign up for? Yeah, they handle them too. If you're a business owner, this stuff should be singing to you. They also do core audits. Visit www.hsecore.com. That is hsecor.com for more information. All right, gentlemen, let's talk about Stu Skinner, shall we? So, not to throw the PR team under the bus, but there was a typo in one of the programs, and they had Stu Skinner listed at 205 pounds. And everybody was like, what? Lost 30 pounds over the summer? So we asked him about it in the scrum, and he laughed and said, no, it was 215. Now, the PR staff got us that information before his interview, but we had a little bit of fun with him. But a trimmer, Stu Skinner, said it was for longevity, said it was for the joints, wants to be in this league for a long time, and if you're a little lighter, probably helps out along those lines as well. Didn't really want to get a lot into whether he felt faster or not out there. He just said that he feels lighter. But definitely a different look for Stu Skinner out there, Struds. I don't know, buddy. What do you think when a goalie comes back and he's dropped that much weight, and looks like he's put the time in.
It's an interesting because he hadn't done it before, right? And so, to trim off 10 pounds and, he contributed to kind of, get away from sugar, which is probably a pretty good move for him. It worked out and he's lost 10 pounds. So you are going to be quicker. It's inevitable. That's just the way it is. I lost about 7-8 pounds when they changed the rules, so he couldn't clutch and grab, and I felt a lot quicker out there. So he will be quicker. And one of the things that a lot of goalie experts have talked about is his lateral pushing back and forth, and that it hasn't been maybe at the level that is needed to make some of the saves he wants, or they think he can or should. So Brownie, I think that this is. I'm not saying it was conscious. I have a hard time believing it wasn't, but. I think it's a good thing for him to try something new, and maybe this was the influence of the new tender coach.
Well, if you're not staying with the status quo, I guess of the two ways you can go with 15 pounds, this is the better, as opposed to gaining 15 pounds over the summer, which I used to do. So good on him. We saw the pictures of Bobrovsky in the playoffs and how skinny he looked. Like he didn't even look normal in some of those pictures, yet he's the best money goalie in the world today. So hopefully this will be a positive when it comes to Ana's performance. But at the end of the day, his teammates, to his coaches, to the fans, it doesn't matter if he came in at 245 or he came in at 205. He just needs to make saves. And if he does that, no one will be talking about weight. They will be talking about a save percentage. So, but again, Struds is right. You lose 15 pounds, there's a conscious effort to change the complexion of your body. And good on him for putting the effort in.
Zuby, why don't you weigh in here, buddy? What does 15 pounds difference mean in the world of a guy playing goal?
Similar to Brownie, I can tell you about going the other way over the past few years, and it has not helped my game. So, I can imagine. It can help. I mean, it depends kind of where you're adding it or subtracting it from too, but I imagine it can help with balance as well. Just to kind of be a little leaner and a little more even. I thought, I just saw the same couple of clips probably that everybody saw today, but I thought he looked really good in there. And you could notice it even just looking at him, in his availability. It doesn't feel good to ever feel heavy out there. And I know that from just eating a meal too close to game time. So I would imagine he feels good.
He said the biceps are bigger. He was joking. He's a little more. He spent a lot of time in the gym lifting and such. No one would have suggested he was out of shape before. Like Stu Skinner took care of himself. He's a good athlete, sure. But he's tightened it up and trimmed it up and said he's got a little more muscle going on right now. In fact, he might have to go buy a whole bunch of new suits because he was throwing some on the other day and they weren't fitting so good. More importantly, though, let's stop talking about pounds and start talking about statistics. Skinner's numbers they took a dip last year, and he certainly was aware of it, admitted that. And here he is kind of talking about the run over the last few years and the search to try and get those numbers better.
Everyone's got an opinion.
Oh, wait a minute. That's the wrong one. He was asked about how you go to back-to-back Stanley Cup finals and still have conversations out there about needing a change in net. Sorry, I queued that clip up wrong.
Everyone's got an opinion. Looking back, it's been pretty incredible. Obviously, Calder, All-Star, Stanley Cup, but haven't won. So people in this town want to win. They want to see the Stanley Cup on a truck at the end of the year.
That might have been one of the stronger comments of the day. They want to see the Stanley Cup on a truck at the end of the day. This might be the clip I was looking for.
I tend to look at that stuff when everything's over. So I looked over it pretty quickly, and it's just something for me to build upon. Looking at it from last year and looking on this year, it's actually super exciting to look at that because it just gives me a really good opportunity to kick some butt and make sure that those numbers are higher. But again, just like what you said, the number that I want higher is the win column.
So Struds, statistically, I mean, Stu Skinner here, if you look at career, he's a 2.72 goals against average, career 906. Couple seasons ago, he was 914. Then he dipped to 905, 896 last year. What do you think the target area should be?
Well, consistency, and his GM brought it up. Stan Bowman talked about in his availability and just saying we're looking for, I believe he used the word consistency, if I remember correctly. And that's it. That's what Stu needs to do, right? He's played some good hockey for stretches, but I think that he is himself should be looking for more consistent play. That save percentage over 900. And he's got a team around him. Like, that defense is going to be good this year. They have been good for a while, but this is the best defense I believe they've had since Connor McDavid's been here on the team. So that's good for the goalie. So Brownie, I think over 900 and consistency are the two things that I'd be shooting for if I was Stu.
Well, I think they would want him to be in the top half of save percentage. So I don't know what that is in the NHL nowadays. If it's 904, then he's got to be just a little bit above. If it's 906, a little bit above. And when you say consistency, it doesn't mean he has to be great every night, because all the best goalies in the league have an off night, but it can't be an off week or an off 2 weeks or an off month. It's okay you have a bad night. You let 9 in. You get pulled in the first period of a game. Fine. Next game you bounce back. And I think that's what the difference between good goaltenders or average goaltenders to good and then good to great. The great goaltenders, if they have a bad night, the next game they're in there, they're going to be lights out. And I think that's what they need out of Stuart Skinner is just when there's an off night, it doesn't roll into 2 to 3 to 5 to 7 games. It stops. And all of a sudden he gets back on his horse and he's back to the consistent goaltending that they need.
All right. Lots of pressure on Stu Skinner this year. Contract situation hanging out there as well. Was asked about that. Didn't really get into much detail about it. I think we all know to a degree they're going to have to sit tight and see what happens here with McDavid, what the numbers look like. Some of these other deals will get pushed a little bit. But Skinner didn't get too deep into that as well. It's going to be interesting to watch Stu Skinner, see if he can contribute to a better start this year for the Oilers. Let's get to McDavid and the goal-scoring conversation. Back to the Weiss Johnson soundbox here. Connor McDavid talking about potential improvement to his game, and this is where he took it.
Scoring goals was something early in my career that I wanted to work on, and seemed to check that box. And then for whatever reason, it's gone back to the playmaking side, which is fine too. I'm here to do whatever the team needs and help this team win. But I want to score goals and I want to play at a high level and play at the level that I expect for myself, and looking to establish that right away.
I cannot tell you how huge I think this is for the Edmonton Oilers that Connor McDavid is rolling into camp talking about, I was kind of playmaking for a couple of years, got away from goal scoring for whatever reason, time to get back to goal scoring. I think this is massive. I've been talking about this a lot over the last 2 years. I don't understand how you go from showing you can on any given year be the best goal scorer in the league to falling off the way his goal scoring did. I just think this is huge for this team that he's thinking this way, Brownie.
Well, what we've seen over the course of, if you just watch the history of the National Hockey League, when the best players in the league decide they want to be better at something and they put that effort in, they are. Sidney Crosby couldn't win a faceoff. Next year he decided I'm going to win faceoffs, and then he became, 56% the next year.
Yeah.
They're just capable of taking it to another level. If Connor McDavid decided, okay, I'm going to shoot more, and if you just think it's 2 shots more a game, that's 160 shots, and at a shooting percentage of 15%, that's what, 20 more goals, 25, 30, whatever that is. So the greats are capable of setting a bar that seems unattainable and then jumping over that bar with ease. So Struds, to me, if Connor McDavid is saying, I'm going to shoot more, that means to me, Connor McDavid is going to score more.
Yeah, for sure. And it's just, he can do really anything he wants, it seems like, at any given time. But I think he does have to find a way to be that threat to score, because what it does, at least from a D-man's perspective, is I have to respect that as much as I respect his pass. He's had, a lot of assists the last number of years. And I'm like, hey, where's Leon, or where's Hyman, or where's whatever Nuge? Well, now if he's shooting it with intention to score more often, I have to respect that. And I think it might even open up his buddies more often on the wings.
Yeah. So prediction, guys, we saw a 64 a few years ago, then a major drop-off, then a significant drop-off again last year. So what's the prediction this year? I think if he's thinking this way and sticks with this and stays healthy, I'm going to say he can get to 60 again. I said 61 this morning on the Ray and Dregs Hockey Podcast. What say you guys, Brownie?
I'm going to say 53. He'll score 50 goals. But I think it'll be 53, and whether it's injury or whatever keeps him away from 60, to me, I think he'll be a 50-goal scorer this season.
Yeah, those are pretty lofty numbers. A little bit off mine. I'll give you my backdrop to why I'm doing this. Only 4 times he scored over 40 goals, and twice it was 41. So I actually am at 38 goals. 38 goals, 114 points for the year. Yeah.
Oh, and the LA Kings are going to win in the first round too. So you may as well just throw out all your predictions right now.
Well, I mean, 40 goals is pretty good. Pretty good.
So Connor McDavid rolls in saying, I'm going to get back to scoring more goals.
Right.
And you predict he's going to get 38?
Well, let's look at his goal total. So let's just go through it. He scored 64, 44, 41, 41.
Okay. So you just went below the numbers of the times where he was a pass first guy. He's now thinking shot first, and you're going to give him less goals.
He had a shot first year. It was 64 goals.
Yeah,
right?
but
He's saying he wants to do that again. The one year that he got 64 was the year he said the same thing that he's going to try and do right now.
But okay, I understand what you guys are saying, but he's only done it over 4 times. 4 times. So I stand by my 38. I got him down for 38 and 76 goals, 76 assists, 114 points. Lock it.
January or February does he get there? Probably January. Hey, Brownie.
Well, it's funny. I was just going to think that. So you were talking about before the All-Star break. Is that what you were saying?
No,
before the Olympics.
Let's see what happens. I mean, so if he's getting 66, sorry, what did you say? You said 61, Shaggy?
Yeah.
Okay, so what's his point totals?
Well, okay, he had 153 points the year he got. I mean, Connor McDavid is coming in talking about, I got a lot to prove this year. He's coming in saying, I have a lot to prove. He said that in interviews and saying he wants to get back to his goal-scoring ways. So I'm not going to give him the 64 he had that one year. That was nuts. 64 goals and 153 points. Is there any reason he can't get 61 goals and 145 points? I mean,
I would have thrown
Connor
out
McDavid's angry and motivated. Yeah. That's my range.
I say 130 points would be a low bar for him, but I think he'll get over that, and 53 goals. And honestly, I am actually shocked and stunned. This might be even a bigger shock than the LA King victory over the Oilers in the first round. Seriously, I thought you were going to come in like, I'm going to go all out and I'm going to say 70.
Yeah, no.
Like 38.
38.
Okay. Listen,
I did that.
Mark this
it's not
down.
that hard.
I got them in my notes, fellas, and in 130 shows, we'll come back and we'll review.
Sure. No, we won't have to, Zuby. We'll be able to come back in 97 shows and do that.
All right.
When he passes 40. Yeah. I love it. Struds, you're never afraid to step out on a limb, my friend. And I love this one you're standing on now, so we can remember this one. That's great.
No, I love that you two could agree on something. Episode 3. Finally, write this down. But unfortunately, you're both wrong about what you're agreeing on. So here I am.
Yeah, but Struds, that's the equivalent to like me taking my shirt off right now and saying, "Is this a good idea, you guys?" You'd both say no right away, right? Like you made it easy for Brownie and I to agree.
We would encourage you. We would encourage you right now. Please, Shogger, do that.
Well, it's not happening, so never mind. That was Takeaways brought to you by HSE Core Services. Struddy coming over the top with a crazy prediction in the early going here. Maybe I'll drop that in a scrum. Next time he's talking about goal scoring, I'll say, Struddy's got you pegged at 38.
Just Jason Strudwick, 13-time goal scorer in the NHL.
13-time goal scorer. Okay, let's keep moving right along here. Time to roll that happy music, Zuby, because we are going to get to some brownie points. And yes, brownie points are brought to you by the Alberta Ram Dealers. Look at this funky animation. How long did this take you to do, Zuby?
A few hours. I don't know. I had to find it first, then I had to make Brownie's head. Some of it's from a template, but then I had to do the thing with Brownie's head, which I was kind of proud of. I spent some time on that.
Nice job. Nice new production value on the show. The 2025 Ram 1500 is Motor Trend's Truck of the Year. Visit your Alberta Ram dealer to get into this award-winning truck at a competitive price. Capable, stylish, powerful. It is Ram. Brownie, I'll just give you a quick second there to adjust your brownie points and make your subtraction for Struds. And whenever you're ready, go ahead.
All right, I'm going to start. First of all, I got one huge brownie point to the star of the Got Your Back podcast, Shogger, who at one time today had the #1 story on tsn.ca. This point now gives Shogger a commanding 4-0 lead in the overall brownie points lead. So congratulations, Shogger, up to 4-8 now.
We're off to a good start this year, you and me.
Things
are looking
we
up.
are. I know
It's time to talk money.
I know who signs my paycheck. I got 6 brownie points. Despite a loss today, the Blue Jays get 6 brownie points as their magic number to clinch the AL East is 6. Looking forward to hopefully a long playoff run for Vladdy and the boys this year. I've got minus 38 brownie points to my good friend Jason Strudwick, who made possibly the poorest prediction of 2025 when he said the world's greatest player who's going to try to score more this year will actually score less. So minus 38 points, and now in third place by himself, Jason Strudwick. I've got 100 brownie points, delicious brownie points, to my mom, who threw together with the help of Dale an incredible feast of ribs and pierogies for dinner tonight. With my wife in the Galapagos Islands for 2 weeks, there have been a few lunches, a lot of dinners, and plenty of butter tarts at my mom's house this week. So, Mom, thank you very much. And finally, I've got 44 brownie points to the creator of the super cool graphics for the Got Your Back favorite segment, Brownie Points. Zuby gets 44 points and unfortunately knocks Shogger out of first place in the Brownie Point season-long race to glory. So congratulations to Zuby.
Thanks, man. That was
unfortunately, Shogger, you are now second. And that, my friend,
I'll take it.
Is tonight's Brownies points.
Tight.
I'll take it. That's back-to-back shows with Brownie on it that I'm in the positive, so I will absolutely take that. Little bit of reaction on the stream here, Zuby. People responding to Struds. 97 says he's focusing on goals, and 38 is what the D-man comes up with. That from Unfortunate Son. Riot's Edge reminding you it's a contract year for Connor. For sure, he's going supersonic to 165. What else did he say?
Well, Unfortunate Son said we need a poll. What does Struds need to do when 97 blows past 38 goals? Maybe he should have to do one of something for each goal beyond 38 that
well, I mean,
that Connor gets.
Sometimes predictions, you have to make them, back them up, and then hope they go right. I mean, if it goes wrong, I won't be upset, but I mean, it's easy to go with the rest of the flow, right?
A little bit of reaction here to me going shirtless. Paulie says, Shogger, you wouldn't even go tarp off in the Blazer dressing room. Not true.
Is that true?
No, not true. No, I don't want to talk to you about this. You're the guy who used to wear shorts in the showers from when I was.
I still do. When I'm in the steam room, I do. That's a lot.
Kayla Weethorn says Shogger will probably pinch a nerve taking his shirt off. There's always a risk of that, Kayla. That's why we got our good friends at the Bridge Physiotherapy. They're gonna fix me up this year. Riot's Edge saying most D-men can't count past 20. So a little bit of humble pie there for Struds.
That's hurtful. That's a hurtful comment.
Yeah. Well, we wanted to beat you down a little bit before you get to take center stage in Struddy's world.
When you make a mistake, heads should roll. It's not right. And I'm here. Someone has to put their foot down. Now that I say it out loud, it does sound a little crazy.
Gotta look good.
You know, we got Tom Lesko from HSC Core Services as a sponsor. He beats the wheels off Struddy on the tennis court. And Harman Batty now from the Batty Realty Group, Royal LePage AR team, beats the wheels off Struddy on the golf course as well. So all of Struddy's guys that just lay beatings on him, piling into the podcast, eager to sponsor. Harman Batty reminds you that becoming a homeowner is one of life's most liberating milestones, offering pride, freedom to make it your own, and the chance to build lasting equity. So go check his team out. They truly make you feel like the only client they have, guiding you through the complex process with expertise and care. That's the Batty Realty at Royal LePage AR Team Realty. Struds, how many times has he beat you? How much better than you is he?
I'm not going to say or give any secrets like that, but I will say Harm's the kind of golfer that only has woods in his bag. That should tell you a lot about his golf game. All right, let's get into it. I've got a great business idea that I think I'm going to propose. I'm not going to follow up on it because I don't have time, but I believe if someone should open a gym where you can't bring your phone into the gym. Not because it's distracting for other groups or because the music's too loud. Nothing like that. It's because people get distracted. They stare at their phones for the whole time. I was in the gym the other day working the buys and the tries, and they were pumped. I'm not going to lie. But this one guy was on his phone. I counted 6 minutes. I looked at the clock, 6 minutes. He was on his phone between sets. Now, that's a pretty incredible superset. If you're taking 6 minutes in between supersets, it can't happen. So some advice from a guy who's been in a few gyms in his time. Leave your phone at the door. Don't bring it in. Just go there and focus. Instead of being there an hour and working for 25 minutes because you're on your phone for 35, scrolling for the latest TikTok dance or seeing how your football team did yesterday, stay focused, go hard. And I know there's at least people on this panel that brings their phone into the gym with them. So I'd also offer that advice to you guys as well. Free.
I disagree. I listen to my music while I'm riding the bike, which is on my phone. I play crib while I'm riding the bike, while I'm on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I text my friend Struds while I'm on the bike on my phone. So I got no problem with someone bringing a phone. Although I don't, when I do my supersets, when I pull, actually I don't do any supersets, but if I did, I know that I wouldn't go 6 minutes in between. But you need your phone for the music. I got to have music when I'm riding the bike.
Struds, are you equally as offended at the notion of having your phone in use while you're doing a cardio workout versus the sets and back and forth from the machines? Like, do you have a little bit of room in your heart for people on cardio equipment?
Well, listen, I've got no problem. People can work out the way they want. But I think if you want to be efficient and more intense, a distraction like that isn't ideal. I think so. I would leave it off for an hour and just come in and just get it done purposefully. If you can play... sorry, what was it? Crafts? What are you playing again? Crib. You're playing the cribs while you're on your thing. You're probably not going hard enough. That's just the fact of life.
I'm going exactly as hard as I want to go. So I am going the right speed for me.
Well, one other thing I want to bring up here, Struds. I mean, professionally, you're kind of like in the kids' play area of life. I mean, you go skate on the ice with kids and you teach them how to be off the glass and out defensemen for one job, and then you sit here and talk hockey with your buddies for the other. You're not missing a lot of important shit during the day, bud. I hate to say it.
That's
right? Other people have jobs, real jobs, where people need to get a hold of them, and stealing away to the gym for 28, 38, 56 minutes where they go completely in the dark. Nothing matters in your world when you're not either on the ice or on this podcast from a business standpoint. Not everyone has that luxury.
So I'm offering people a chance to be more efficient. So instead of taking an hour and actually working out for 25, just go in there for 25, leave your phone outside and you'll be done. So I'm making them time. I should be getting paid for this advice. Like what's the guy with the big banana fingers that gives out advice to everybody? Timmy. It's got
I have no idea.
Tony Robbins. Tony
Super
Robbins. He gets paid for this kind of a life advice. Dr. Phil as well. I have a better haircut than Dr. Phil. You guys are getting this free of charge. You should be thanking me.
You know what I think they should come up with? I think they should come up with a gym where you're free to go in there. And if your kid's having a tough day and you end up in a text conversation trying to encourage him for 5 or 6 minutes through his tough day, you don't need to worry about a creep staring at you, looking at his watch, timing you. I think they need that kind of gym out there.
A non-judgmental gym. That's right.
Yeah.
A non-judgmental gym. Struds wouldn't get into that one.
Be efficient, everybody. That's what I'm telling you. Free of charge.
Hey, Zuby,
so,
can you throw
it's not enough just to go out and try to better yourself. You have to better yourself under the rules of Jason.
No, I'm helping you. I'm helping you guys.
Zuby, really quick, can you throw up the Brownie Points logo above Strud's head again? Let's just quickly go back to Brownie Points real quick. Brownie, I'm going to give you an opportunity right now. If you want to take some away from him, we're back in Brownie Points now. Go ahead. If you want to take some away for that Struddy's world, go now.
How many did I take earlier? 38 away from him?
30.
Well, I'm going to take 25 more away. 25 more for the 25 minutes workout that he's
that was a
seriously,
costly
can't someone go with their phone and enjoy a workout, have fun? We're not all trying to be perfect. We're just trying to be a little bit better.
Right. The smallest bit. If you can play the
crib.
Cribs.
Yes. Sometimes I do a Sudoku too.
Oh, geez. Oh,
Hey, Brownie, there's a Settlers of a Catan you can get on your phone and an iPad. If you want, I'll hop on the elliptical. You let me know. You hop on the bike at the gym. We'll play some Settlers, buddy. Done.
It's getting better and better.
Undone and done. That was Struddy's World, a costly one for the big guy. That's it for you, Brownie. Well job tonight, buddy. Well job.
Yeah.
We'll talk soon.
Thank you too. You guys were fantastic. You too's Jason.
All right. Taking a quick break so Struds can reevaluate a few things, look in the mirror a little bit. We'll be right back on Got Your Back, presented by Timber House Developments.
For over 60 years, Belvedere Golf and Country Club has delivered a high-quality membership experience to Edmonton and area. And now it's even better. Drainage and irrigation improvements in 2024 have taken course conditions to a new level. This commitment to long-term sustainability means exceptional playing conditions all season long. Belvedere's tee sheet availability is unmatched, so join now and experience golf the way it was meant to be played, on your schedule. Visit belvederegcc.com today.
So at Timber House, our guiding philosophy is naturally inspired living. We believe that through design, we can solve problems and enhance people's lives. We follow biophilic design principles in all of our builds to incorporate natural materials, natural light, to enhance all the spaces in a home. When you have your space perfectly reflect who you are and what you value, and it's made well, we think that that just leads to better living.
Zuby, what is happening with this theme music? Is this our theme?
Yeah, this is the little 80s version, but actually it was supposed to play the 80s logo coming back here. Oh, here we go.
Listen to
This is just some 80s synth.
on.
I was feeling a little
Buddy,
synthy.
what Struds? That's impressive. That is impressive.
Very cool. Very cool.
I almost want to bring Brownie back just to give you brownie points for this. Nice job, buddy. Time now to take a couple of laps around the NHL, brought to you by our good friends over at Bridge Physiotherapy. Rehabilitation at the Bridge offers a comprehensive approach that extends beyond temporary pain relief. It focuses on developing long-term strength and resilience to support an active lifestyle, like I have. So active. And the Bridge is going to help me on my journey to fix the Achilles, to fix the golf groin, to fix the bad back, to fix the golf elbow. I'm so excited. They've done a huge job for me already, helping with the elbow. Time to get started on the groin. Struds. Have you recovered from your beating yet? And are you ready to take a couple of laps?
Well, people don't like hearing the truth, and that's fine. But I will speak the truth again here and take a lap. So pretty early announcement for this. Anze Kopitar, 20 years in the NHL. This will be his last year, his 20th. He was retiring after the year. He said, I just wanted to get ahead of it and just say what it is. I didn't realize he'd been 20 years in the NHL already. I think that's pretty amazing. Stanley Cup winner, Selke winner, all-star, yada, yada, yada. All-around great guy, good leader. So this will be it. The last time we get to see one of the greats of all time in LAK uniform.
Zuby, just trying to call this up today. This was thrown into one of our chats today that the Dodgers announced Clayton Kershaw will announce today that he'll retire as a player at the end of the 2025 season. So they went ahead and did this today. The LA Dodgers. I don't know. Was there kind of stealing a little thunder there, Struddy? Like, couldn't they have let Anze have his day? Maybe delay it a day or two or a week or something? Did anyone else think that was weird?
It's different sports. I don't know if does it really matter. I don't know if it's.
But they're both LA. They could have done it another day. It's literally the same day.
Sports icons, like
I guess. Yeah.
My guess is that shows how little the Dodgers think about the Kings. Would be my guess.
This feels like the guy who proposes to his girlfriend at his buddy's wedding.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like it feels like one of those.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, yeah, I guess. I don't know. I haven't really given it any thought. Yeah, I mean,
you Kershaw, can't do that on the fly right now and comment.
He's still in the playoffs, right? Or he's heading into the playoffs. I don't know why he had to say it now, but for Kershaw. But I don't know if the two are related. LA's a big town, man. Like, there's lots of room for everybody to have news.
I mean, in fairness, it says he'll make his final Dodger Stadium regular season start on Friday. That's what it said as well. So maybe that had something to do with the timing. Anyways, Kopitar was a beauty and well-respected player. Very well-respected player. What else, buddy?
To see if well, I'll be just quickly interesting how they use Quinton Byfield this year. If he gets a little bit more, usage or different times, because you guys know how I feel about Quinton. Moving on, the Toronto Maple Leafs have been looking or are searching for a right winger to play beside Matthew Nyes and Austin Matthews since Marner walked out on the Toronto Maple Leafs faithful. Today was Matias Maccelli, recently traded for from Utah, was in that spot. Now, apparently it was supposed to be Max Domi was the intention, but Max is nicked up. He's not starting on that line, he's skating, not practicing with the team. So Maccelli gets it. I'm here to say I don't know that line, it won't be the same with either Domi or Maccelli. So I think they're still probably looking for a guy there. But if I'm Maccelli, I use this time as well as I can, because sooner or later you're going to get a chance to play with him and get used to what it's like to play with Austin Matthews, because it could be a massive boom to his career.
17 goals a couple years ago. Last year, 8 goals, 10 assists in 55 games played. Brad Treliving has made no secret of the fact that he's looking. They're wanting to try and improve themselves at that position. But this is, I guess here in Edmonton, we just saw Kasperi Kapanen playing alongside Leon Draisaitl. I guess that could be somewhat similar. Kapanen, Maccelli has even had more offense than Kapanen. So I guess that happens sometimes, right? Guys get opportunities there. This feels very temporary and not the long-term fit, and very clear they need to find somebody legitimate to be in that spot.
And I wonder if there's a time where maybe Nylander moves up there, right? And what does that do to their second line? Like, I think that top six is really in flux for the Leafs, because I don't know they have as many options that can play up there. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
They're going to do the obligatory play Nylander at center for 2.5 periods this year that they seem to say they're going to. They talk about it for a week, play him there for a game, and that's it.
Yeah, that's a story worth watching, the whole Leaf situation, because they are a team that has massive changes, especially up front, and don't have a number one D man. I'm really interested to see how that goes for them. Lastly, heading to Winnipeg, apparently, according to Cheveldayoff, their GM, the Jets and Kyle Connor have had some great dialogue, and they'll continue to have that as far as working their way toward a contract. Darren Dreger on the pod today said that he thinks it'd be around the Marner money of $12 million a year. All Kyle Connor does is skate and score and grow sick hair when he wants to. So sounds like that will be an extension that. Not sure on the timing, but they're going to. It sounds like they're going to get their Rishaug, which is important for Winnipeg.
You think he'll be able to get into the lineup if the U.S. makes a gold medal game at the Olympics this year? Still can't believe that.
That was a surprise. I think it was Kreider in for him, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nelson, Kreider, those guys. I think Nelson was in too, wasn't he? If I remember.
Well,
anyways, it was definitely Kreider.
Yeah, and I'll quote Brown. He said, "Why wouldn't you want a guy in there that all he does is score?" And so it was. I thought that was a really funny line from Brownie. So there you go. That's a wrap.
All right, that's a wrap on Taking a Lap, brought to you by The Bridge, Sports, Therapy, and Training. All right, Zuby, hop in here, buddy. Let's wrap up our DeBoer's Golf Shop and Pitting Center YouTube poll. You put the question out there about Canner. What was the response like?
So the question tonight was, how many goals will Connor McDavid score this year? 46-55 was the winner, 50% of the vote. 21% believing it's going to be 56 or more. So on the high end there, 36-48 was 20% of the vote, very close, and only 9% saying 35 or fewer. Over 100 votes and a nice little stream of some friends here joining us as they always do. And, people leaning high on that. So we'll see. You know what? I like it when Struddy's right, because the man does a good victory lap. So we'll see what happens. I'm not rooting against you, Strud.
Yeah, and it actually, when you say that, it makes me rethink everything that I'm saying, because you have nailed some stuff over the years. Like, you have more than your share of wins. I don't think this is going to be one of them, but fascinating. And I love the fact you're taking a stand like that this early on in the season. All right, let's get to our Ask Us Anything, brought to you by Mortgages by Maria. if your renewal is upon you, don't just sign the first thing your bank puts in front of you. With the right strategy, you can save like thousands of dollars and make sure your money works harder for you, not for the bank. Get smarter options and expert advice. Mortgagesbymaria.ca. Randine and I use Maria. She does a great job for us. She keeps track of everything for you, gets in touch with you when things are happening you need to know about. I highly recommend her. That's mortgagesbymaria.ca. Zuby, let's roll through some of what the folks are saying tonight.
Sure. Let's talk a little bit about Connor and the contract, because why not? Haggard Prospector said, I signed McDavid on NHL 26 for 8 years at $14 million. I don't see what the holdup is. So I don't play that anymore, but it sounds like that's a done deal. I think the team and their fans would take that in a minute. Jason said, and I'm not sure exactly what was said, but he says, I'm curious, do you guys buy the overdrive take that McDavid knows what he wants to do? That he's just not, that he has a plan, he has criteria in his mind that is, maybe it's personal. He knows what he wants to do, what he's going to do. He's not in a position to say it publicly. Shogger, do you think that's the case?
It might be. We wouldn't know. When he's sitting at home, with his wife and their pup, and they're talking about their life and reflecting on their life and what plans they have and the things that they want to do, there's no way for any of us to know what those personal conversations are like. And that's personal, and that's for them. And, they've earned that. And that's life, right? So is that possible? Yeah, that's absolutely possible. Do I think it's likely? I don't think so. I really do think that Connor McDavid is being very genuine when he says if he feels like he can win here year over year, signing a contract is no problem. I don't think this is about time for me to leave Edmonton because it's Edmonton. I think that this is about McDavid's comfort level with the team moving in the right direction continually year over year after this season. I really do think that that's what this is about. And I think there's some uncertainty heading into this season. I think the team regressed in some ways last year that he is going to want to make sure they're not trending towards regressing again this year, and some concerns about an aging team in the years to come. So it is possible, but that's not what my gut tells me. I really do believe this is about winning and the ability to win here, and some of that's to be determined, Struds.
Yeah, I think you laid out really well there. And I mean, who knows what he's thinking? I mean, it was interesting when Ray Ferraro said that, he's I don't know if he's heard or he gets a sense that the conversations are between Connor and his wife more so than anyone else. Like, that's how tight the circle is. And I was kind of like, whoa, okay. I mean, he obviously knows what he wants, and the money, I don't think the money has anything to do with it. I think that's just like, it's not even a stumbling block. He's just going to get what he gets. So I don't think it's not like it's a hard conversation. Like, how much are we going to pay Wallman? Connor just walks in and said, this is the number. Okay. This is the number of years done. So it's interesting to see them kind of talk about it. Maybe they're trying to, as you said, just build what it looks like. What does their life look like? What does it look like with the team? And he said, he kept saying when the feeling's right. And that's really interesting to me. So I honestly, who knows? Who knows? Because if it's them, it's hard to characterize it.
Bill Monroe, imagining the conversation, says, quote, should we move somewhere that doesn't require a heated driveway, end quote. Listen, McDavid has said that he and his wife, they love living here and he loves playing here. You don't put down the kind of roots that they have put down, with building the house that they built and starting a business and doing all these things. I think they're all in and happy with being Edmonton Oilers and living in life in the city of Edmonton. I don't think it has anything to do with that. And people from outside the market might want to paint it like that, but all the evidence points to that not being the case at all. I'm just going to take McDavid at face value. He said the number one thing is winning, and he hasn't signed yet. So there's something getting in the way of his belief that they're going to be able to win year over year over year. He's made it very clear he believes strongly in this year's team, and I understand why. But there's some reservations about things moving forward.
Simpson Leung says, when you said this on the pod the other day, and you've said it before, Shogger, but a couple people have brought it up. In a prior podcast, Rishaug said he doesn't cheer for the Oilers. Did I hear that wrong, or is it because he has to stay neutral in his job? Every once in a while, we just need to double back to this. For the people who are surprised, my mom messaged me. Did Ryan say he doesn't cheer for the Oilers? Yes, Mom. I thought my mom watches every show. Maybe she forgot that part. But do you want to give it 30 seconds?
Yeah, that's the way I go about my job. Like, I'll be fully transparent. I grew up the hugest Oiler fan. Like, I cried when Steve Smith scored on himself. Those guys were my heroes, and I was a massive Oiler fan. But I went to broadcasting school not to be a sportscaster. I went to be a journalist. I'm extremely passionate about and love the world of journalism. And so I was taught, I remember the speech I was given by Robin Piercy, our journalism professor, about the need to be unbiased, the need to the importance of doing this job the right way. And so that's just something that you have to shelf. So when I moved to Edmonton and became a reporter at CTV Edmonton covering the Edmonton Oilers, you literally crumple up whatever fan there is and you throw it away because there's a job that needs to be done. And I don't believe you can do that job the appropriate way if secretly in your heart of hearts you're cheering. So absolutely 100%, I don't cheer. I don't cheer when I'm home watching Oiler games. I don't cheer for the team. I wouldn't be considered a fan. Wins or losses don't really make a big difference to me. What I would say is that I live in a city that I know loves this team, and I want success for the team, for my family and friends and all the fans on this show and everybody to enjoy. I think that would be amazing for everybody. But me personally, I just don't cheer. You can't be the guy that gets in there and says, why have you lost 5 in a row? What's wrong with your team? When are you signing your contract? Blah, blah, blah. I can't get in there and do those things if you're a fan at heart. It just doesn't work for me. So no, I'm not a fan. I don't cheer.
I think maybe the reason I think people are so maybe are surprised to hear that is because there are lots I think of journalists who can't put that away. I think it bleeds through sometimes. So I think that's probably why people.
Yeah, and I don't judge anybody else for the way they do their job. It's just the way I'm wired to do mine. Like it's just the way I go about it. So, and some might disagree, and there might be those out there who think I am or think I act like one, or I can't control any of that. I just know, like, it's an ongoing joke, Struds, with my family and friends. I'm terrible to watch an Oiler game with because they'll be jumping around the living room cheering and I'm just writing down notes. Like, and this goes for everything. When Sidney Crosby scored the gold medal goal at the Olympics, I was working on that broadcast. I was sitting in the stands. There's actually a shot on the broadcast where you can see me stand up and I just walked over to the whole place is erupting and going nuts. And I was like, got to go interview Sid now, and just walked over there and walked out onto the ice. Like, I didn't cheer at all for that. So it's just wiring to do the job a certain way. I don't know. You buy any of that, Struds?
Oh, I've seen it. I believe it. You don't have to convince me. I know how you operate, and I respect that. I really do, because I'm here to do the job, and you don't get emotions. Like for me, I guess I'd say I cheer for the team, but what I want it for the city. But I know how much heart and soul those guys put in every day, and I want them to be rewarded. And then the flip side of that is I'm a sports fan and I get excited about moments, right? So yeah, when I go to an Oilers game, the playoff game, and they're doing well and they're scoring, that's fun to be around that. I like that. Yeah, but I also feel that when I go to an NFL game, or I've gone to a baseball game, like I like moments, and I like that shared feeling you have with fans of, if we went to a soccer game in Miami and Messi scores 3 goals, I'd be jacked. I'd be a fan for that. I like those moments. So that's what I enjoy. So if you see me in a game and I'm getting excited, I am excited because it's fun to be there. I can't just sit there and say, and I'm not saying you're wrong. I just can't sit there and say, this doesn't get to me. It gets to me. But I as far as this team, I know how much these guys have put into it. Because I tried, I wasn't even close enough to being good enough to win a cup, but I want those guys to feel and be rewarded for it. So yes, I want them to do well. I want them to win for them, for the work they've done.
Worker says that sounds miserable, Rishaug. It's not, Pat. I love my job, man. I am so passionate about my job. I'm at that. I don't need to cheer because I'm there doing something that I absolutely love. I don't need to cheer on the show because I love doing this show. I love journalism. I love podcasting. I love broadcasting. Like, that's the stuff that really gets my juices flowing. I love this world. And it's unpopular right now because journalism is very much under fire in a lot of ways. my son is one as well. But that is where the passion is in this for me now. I've replaced any level of being a fan with just a love for the craft of journalism and what we do. But it doesn't mean I'm not empathetic. Like, man, when the Oilers lost the Cup final in 2006 and guys are crying their eyes out in these scrums a couple of years ago, McDavid, all these guys are emotional. I like these guys. They're good guys. They're nice guys. They give me time. They agree to do interviews. They answer questions. You engage with them. So you get to know them and you like them. I didn't like seeing them upset and losing and all that. You're empathetic on a human level. There's just no disappointment from a fan level. That's all.
Well, there's people on the stream who, and this is, as you said, this is fine, don't believe you. They say they believe that you're a fan. But Riot's Edge says,
sure,
Rishaug being unbiased is one of the reasons I think this show is so great. So there's people who...
Oh, nice. Thanks, Riot's Edge.
Appreciate it. And we'll move on from that. I wasn't trying to. I know a couple people had mentioned it, so it's good for us to go there every once in a while.
No, thanks for the question. Yeah, it was good.
Okay, here's a couple of good ones. Polly says, keeping with predictions, what could you foresee as the biggest surprise of this regular season? So maybe throw something out for us. Let's obviously have it Oilers specific. Who or what do you think might surprise this year, Struddy?
Man,
Stu Skinner is the solution for the Oilers net minding.
I was going to do something Stu Skinner related too, buddy.
Yeah.
I really
I don't know if I worded that correctly, but I think that he's a guy that, when I hear he lost 10 pounds, and again, not that he was out of shape or anything, but he wanted to recreate his body and for a purpose. And he doesn't have to share it with us, but I know that that's what, you do as an athlete. You were doing it for a reason. And quickness, maybe that's the thing. So let's see what happens.
So despite being the most skilled player on the planet that can basically do anything he wants to do at any given moment out there, Connor McDavid's going to be held to 38 goals this year. I think that will be surprising when that happens.
His 5th highest total in his career out of 11 years.
I kid.
All right, this name's been floating around. Doesn't sound like anything's going to happen, but we'll put it out there. Dutch Oven says, anyone think Bowman puts in a waiver claim on Connor Ingram? So I think probably we know the answer. Do you think Bowman's going to, but do you think he should, or is it something he should consider, Schauger?
No, I don't think so. I think that the Oilers are going to have 2 goalies this year and not 3. I think there's no reason to feel they need to upgrade Calvin Pickard as a backup. And I think that Stu Skinner is going to be given the opportunity to show that he can be the guy here. And I don't think Ingram is an option that makes you deviate from that plan. If an option comes up, Struds, where you're like, oh boy, throw that plan in the garbage because look who's available, I think they're open to that. But this doesn't feel like that for me, buddy.
Stan Bowman mentioned his availability. You're always looking to improve your group.
Yeah.
Always. You're constantly. So if something comes up that's better, they'll make a move on it. But make no mistake, the Oilers D is good. It's as good as it's been with Connor McDavid. It's never been better. So they don't need to trade for a player to add there. If Stu Skinner can become what the consistent player we've seen in the past, that's solved. So now you have, a lot of players up front that are kind of trying to figure out where they fit in, and maybe the pieces fit, maybe they don't all fit. Then you can upgrade there. That's what it looks like. That's what Oilers fans, you should be praying every night that's what happens.
Anything else, Uber? You want to wrap it up?
I've got a couple others here. The Big O says, we did a Schauger specific question. Here's one that's specifically for Struddy. The Big O says, was Struddy the resident philosopher in the respective locker rooms when he played? Or if it wasn't you, Struddy, who would you point to?
Like, what do you mean? Like who would just kind of like
deeper thinker?
Philosopher
Yeah, that's a good way to
deeper
put it.
thinker and deeper thinker was willing to go places other guys wouldn't because it wasn't cool. That guy.
Yeah, that definitely wasn't me. No, I was the positive guy, the glue guy, trying to help guys, trying to find the guy in the corner that was struggling, bring him up. That's what my job was, bring energy, and I tried every day. I think Yager was definitely a contrarian, right? Like he was always thinking of different ways of doing things, and that is the ultimate. The way he trained, or for example, we'd practice for 30 minutes in New York, and he wouldn't really try that hard. But before and after, he'd go harder than anyone else did during the 30 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, he wanted to do stuff that he wanted to work on, and the coach, what he wanted to work on, is like, yeah, that doesn't really need it by me. And I always thought that was interesting. And in a lot of ways I appreciate it, although I didn't have the luxury of doing that.
Riot's Edge wants to know, do you guys ever rewatch your goals? He says, do you guys ever rewatch your goals, saves, let's say fights, maybe? YouTube's a heck of a thing. Do you guys ever get down a rabbit hole with your kids or anything like that, Struddy?
Sometimes, yeah. It's more when they bring it to me. Like, I was on ice today with a bunch of guys who were working on penalty shots, and someone's like, did you ever score? I'm like, or they were chirping me. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I mean, I'm 1 for 1 in the greatest league in the world. Is there a better league than the NHL? I don't know if there is. I mean, and that kind of put the debate to end.
Pretty good stats.
Yeah. So yeah, no, when someone else brings it to me, I look at it, but it's pretty rare I go back and look, guys.
Not a lot out there on me, Zuby. There's a video of a guy named Reed Lowe beating the wheels off me in Kelowna one night on YouTube. My kids were happy to bring that one to my attention, but other than that, not a lot of video out there on me.
All right, last one here. And this is more of a question of, we'll see if either of you guys even know what this means, because I did say non-hockey questions are okay. So Queen Bee Amy brought the heat. I had to look this up. She said, are you Team Conrad or Team Jeremiah? Do either of you know what that's in reference to?
No idea.
All right, then good night, everybody. This has been...
Do you know Zuby? And
I had to look it up.
On?
It's from a movie called The Summer I Turned Pretty, and it's about a gal deciding between two dudes, and there aren't even any werewolves and vampires in this one.
No,
well, Queen Bee Amy, we appreciate you stepping outside the box a little bit and thinking of something different. Sorry that weren't able to get there with you on that one, but keep the questions coming for Ask Us Anything. We love those. That was Ask Us Anything, brought to you by Maria Gallus, mortgage broker. We're going to wrap the show here with the play of the day. Zuby, I have a request, though.
Yes.
I love that retro music, and I love those retro graphics. When we wrap the show, can you wrap with the retro music and then wrap with the retro graphics?
Sure,
can we do
absolutely, yeah.
We got to give that to the people one more time. You did such a great job of that. In the meantime, let's get to the play of the day, brought to you by Mainline Water and Sewer, your trusted choice for over 40 years, specializing in sewer line replacement and expert water line repair and replacement. Slow drains are a sign it's time for attention, and aging lines can cause basement backups. Their trenchless method, quick, low impact, and often finished in just a day, complete with backflow protection. Visit mainlinewaterandsewer.ca. Play of the day today, Struds. I'd love for it to be Brownie, not once but twice, taking brownie points away from you, but I'm not going to do that. I'm sure you got something better.
It's a long here. I'll get back in the positive. Huge football game tonight. Well, huge one. I mean, it's always fun Thursday night. It was Bills versus Miami. Miami made it close, but the Bills win. So the Bills go to 3-0. Unfortunately, 0-3 for Miami Dolphins. And I believe, and this isn't my idea, there are others that are with knowledge, are thinking that the head coach, Mike McDaniel of the Dolphins, is going to get punted. They don't play for 10 days. And that would be this seems to be completely off the rails. So not the most friendliest play of the day, but keep a look on the Miami Dolphins, or keep your eyes on it, because they could have a major problem ahead looking for a new coach in the next 10 days.
Play of the day. Mainline Water and Sewer.
Mike McDaniel will find a job. Someone else will take it. He's young. He'll get another shot.
I don't think as a head coach, though. I don't think his personality meshes as a head coach. I might be wrong, though.
I liked him there for a minute, and I don't like the Dolphins, so I...
Fair point.
Love the NFL talk, boys. Can we just sit with this for a minute? Let's just let this breathe for a minute, Zuby. I love it. Got Your Back, Season 5, Episode 3 is in the books. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. We greatly appreciate it. We're going to take a few days off. No pod Friday or Saturday, but the Oilers do play an exhibition game Sunday against the Flames, and we will drop a post-game pod, our first post-game pod of Season 5. Looking forward to it. Nice job tonight, boys. For the most part, Struds. Couple of odd moments from you, Struddy, but otherwise rock solid as always.
Well, Sue was right. We got 82 games to figure it out, boys.
and 150 episodes. Zuby, nice job, buddy. This remix is crushing it.
Oh, yeah, we'll keep bringing some different and fun stuff throughout the year. But yeah, I'm liking this too. But someone said this is good elliptical music.
All right. Let it breathe. Take us into the night with a little Got Your Back retro action. This has been Got Your Back presented by Timber House Development. See y'all soon. It's like Stranger Things. Or Stranger. What was that show?
Stranger Things is a show.
Stranger Things. It feels Stranger Things like.
It takes place in the 80s.
So good, buddy.
All right, good night, everybody. Thanks for being here.